Hello and welcome to the Dynata training series. My name is Chris, and today, together with my colleague Eric, we are going to introduce you to Dynata Audience Solutions. We will start by explaining what Dynata Audience Solutions are and how they can help you within your research processes. Then, we will move into actually getting started utilizing the tool and provide an introduction to navigate through its dashboard, utilize its functionality, and get started actually planning and executing projects within it. In subsequent videos in this training series, we will actually walk you through the entire process of creating and managing your research projects through Samplify, which is the primary user interface in our Audience Solutions package. And finally, in the third video in this series, we will walk you through a variety of advanced tips and tricks for more complicated research projects which you may want to conduct. In case you are not familiar with Dynata's Audience Solutions, they are Dynata's do-it-yourself and programmatic or API-driven solution to managing sample for your research projects. They are specifically designed to fuel your research with fast and easy access to the industry's deepest collection of consumer and business audiences. Utilizing Dynata Audience Solutions, you can set up and launch projects yourself at any time, leveraging access to all of our proprietary panel assets, which lets you leverage comprehensive B2C and B2B targeting attributes. The tools allow you to preview and test your studies before launching them into field, and then give you simple tools to monitor and manage your fieldwork once the study has in fact launched. Finally, as a component of the Dynata Insights platform, Dynata Audience Solutions seamlessly integrate with all of our other various analytical tools that lets you rapidly analyze the data that you have collected in order to drive actionable insights. While Dynata Audience Solutions are designed to be a do-it-yourself self-service tool or a programmatic tool, you can also choose to work with our best-in-class, industry-leading team of research specialists who are there to work with you to design, manage, execute, and monitor all of your research projects as they are underway. So, with that introduction out of the way, I'm now going to turn it over to my colleague, Eric Ritter, who's going to be able to walk us through the specifics of how to log into Dynata's Audience Solutions, how to navigate throughout that user interface in that tool, working across your various different project lists, searching and filtering for the projects that particularly interest you in a given moment in time, and understanding how to view top-line information about those projects or review the invoices that are associated with those projects. With that, I'm happy to turn it over to Eric, who will start walking us through.
Depending on the account you got with Dynata, there are several ways on how you can log into Samplify. In case you are in Dynata Insights platform client, you can go to the dynata.com homepage, login button in the top right, and either directly go to Samplify or go via the Insights platform login page. In case you have just an Samplify account with us, you can go to samplify.dynata.com or go to dynata.com and on the login top right, select Samplify. Either way leads to the same result. You're going to be ending up on the dashboard from your Samplify account. For this presentation, let's go ahead with the platform.dynata.com login, where we're going to be presented with this login mask. Here, we will need to enter our email address and the password, which we have received as part of the credential package, which we received from the customer success team. In case you have not received any email so far, please do reach out to customer success at dynata.com, and we'll happily investigate why nothing had been received or set up a new account for you. In case you do put in your email address and your password, and you're going to be presented an error message, please do take into account the password does expire after a certain amount of time. So in case that happened, simply click the Forgot Password option, where you're going to be asked to put your email address in, and the system will send an automatically generated link to set up a new password. In case you do receive an error message on that page, that your email address does not exist or cannot be associated with any account, please feel free to reach out to customer success at dynata.com, and we'll happily investigate or set up a new account for you. So I've already put my login credentials in here and simply press the login button, which will bring us for this demonstration to the platform login. Here, I simply click on Sampling with Samplify, which brings us to samplify.dynata.com and is going to present us with our first. There are two types of dashboards which we have here, and these two are indicated here on the top left. We have the dashboard and the invoices. The dashboard is simply called dashboard, even though this is technically speaking your project management dashboard. All of the projects which you have set up or which your colleagues have set up will be on this dashboard tab. In case you just want to check invoices, the status of an invoice, or download your invoices, you can click on the Invoices tab, which will present you with all of the invoices either from you or from your colleagues. Let's go back to the project management dashboard, where we're seeing a couple of items being presented to us. Let's start at this part here in the top left. What we can see here is called My List. Samplify operates what we call a two-tiered system. It will by default always show your project. In case you do want to see what your colleagues have set up, or you're working together with one of your colleagues on one of the projects, you can simply click on this drop-down menu, go to the company list, and can see everything which your colleagues have set up. The search functionality uses parts of a project name or a full project name and will find what you're looking for. In this case, I just have one project on my dashboard, so I would click on the company dashboard and let's search, for example, one of my projects, which is called Test. Now it would show me every single project where a part of the name is Test. And here it doesn't matter if it is in the middle, if the whole project name is Test, if it is at the beginning, or if it is at the end of the project name. It will show everything which is associated with Test in the name. The next bar here on button on top here would be the project status. In total, we got 6 project statuses, even though you're just able to filter with this drop-down according to 5, because there's a 6th one which is paused, and paused is not being able to be filtered through, but you will be able to filter for draft, launched, completed, closed, and invoiced. A draft project is a project which you have set up, but where you haven't pressed the launch button yet. As soon as that launch button is pressed, the status would move to launched. And once a launched project is finished, it will move to the completed status. And once you've pressed the close and bill button on the completed project, the status will move to closed. And as soon as the account manager has worked on the issuing of the invoice for your account, the status will move to the invoice project status, which indicates the last stage and everything had been done for your project, from setting up, running it, and invoicing it at the end. The next part we can see here on the top is a date range. By default, your list as well as the company list will always have a 1-month date range. The reason for that is that we want to avoid having a too clogged up dashboard with projects from the whole year on it. In case you are searching for a project and you do not find it, it might be possible that the project had been set up or closed before the date range, and then you will need to adjust the date range either by adjusting the beginning or the end of your date range to find the project. So if I, for example, look for one of my previous projects, which was called something with Acme, I can see right here, if I just put Acme in, I won't find anything. If I now extend my date range to, let's say, the 1st of February, we can see Acme company live updates appeared. And that project had been set up and closed before the 1-month time period, which is by default shown on my dashboard, and I had to extend in order to find it. What we can see here straight away as well is hovering over certain items will give you certain information about your project on your dashboard. But let's take this out and start by going a bit further down into the 4 columns, which will be presented for each of your projects. In this area is where your projects will be shown. The last project you've worked on or the project where you've last updated something will always be shown on top of that list. And within this list, you can see some basic information about your project, which are supposed to give an overview. In this case, we can see the name, the target status, completes, and cost. The name, of course, will always show the name which either you've given a project, or if you're on the company list, one of the names one of your colleagues has given to the project. We see an indicator when was the last time something updated within the project underneath. In this case, something was updated the 29th of April. On the next column, we can see the target statuses. This is supposed to give a brief overview over every target group which you have set up. In this case, we can see for this target group, it still has the status draft, and it had been set up for the UK. Hovering over it will also give us, for each single draft, the name which we've given to them. We can see here, for example, this is called new target group 1. If I would go to these ones, we can see this target group was called English, this target group was called Spanish. The third column, which you can see here, gives an indication over how many completes have I set up this project for. This includes the amount of completes of all of the target groups which I've set up. So if I see those 1,000 completes here, and I just have one target group, that means that this target group was set up for 1,000 completes. In case of having more than one target group, it will always sum up the completes from each single target group which you've set up within the project. In this case, the English and the Spanish target group, which we set up for the US together, are set up for 1,949 completes. The fourth column gives us an indication about the price. In this case, for the 1,946 completes which we want to achieve over these two target groups and the settings which we've set these ones up with, would cost us $5,117.98. On a live project, we will even be presented with a couple more information. For that, I'm going to simply go to the filter, click as launch to be able to show one of the live projects. And here we can see the live project itself already has a different color. It is green with a white text compared to the gray and gray text of the drafts. The similar for the closed one. Closed one is gray, just with closed inside. And hovering over something which had been live, we can see we get some basic metrics indication as well. In this case, we can see the conversion, we can see the amount of completes for the target group, and the cost for a single target group. If I, for example, go over this pause target group, we can see it was named new target group 1. It was set up for the US. I had set it up with a conversion of 100%. We had 86% in field. It was set up for 200 completes. We've achieved 51. And the projected total costs for all of the 200 completes would be $450. And we've already accrued $114.75. We can see on the complete indication that both target groups had been set up for 200, and 40 and 51 completes have so far already been achieved, which is approximately about 1/3. And the costs which we accrued are already $114.75 compared to what overall achieving the 245 completes would mean. We would have costs of about $565.65. Next point on our list would be showing what does the invoice tab actually do. In this case, we click on the invoices and we would see straight away that my list is being shown here on the top left as well. This works in the same two-tiered system as the project dashboard does. It has my list and it has a company list. Clicking on the company list will show projects which my colleagues have closed and built and are ready to be invoiced. We can see here again as well, for each project in these lines, there's the name shown. When was the date that I pressed the close and bill button? If I have entered a PO number, the PO number will be shown straight away here. It will give an indication of the cost for that project as well as a status. There are two statuses on the invoices dashboard, which we can also see when clicking on the filter again. We have an invoice processing. That means that you've pressed the bill and close button and your account manager has been notified that this project can be invoiced. And once the invoice has been issued, the status will move to invoiced. In this case, we have all of our projects in here shown as invoice processing. That means the account manager will still need to invoice these projects. Then we can see we have a summary button. The summary buttons give a brief overview over all of the target groups which had been set up and how many completes each target group had achieved. So in terms of this example, I would click on the US Census Division summary. We can see here that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 target groups being set up. Of those 5 target groups, there was just one which actually had achieved some completes, and that was the US Census by divisions with 17 completes. The CPI per complete was $2.75, and that is a total of $46.75. And at the bottom, we see a summary of all of our costs from all target groups, which are, because we just had one target group live here with 17 completes, at the $46.75 from this target group. If you want to, you can download the summary as well, simply by clicking on the download summary, which will open up a PDF, which can be opened, and it shows the exact same information on a PDF as what you have seen within the invoicing dashboard. Let's click cancel here and go back to my list. There is a search bar here as well, which is being used in the same way as on your project dashboard. You can search by part of the project name or by the full project name. And also here you do have a date range. The date range within the invoices dashboard is less relevant compared to the project management dashboard. There is no default date being shown here, simply because usually those invoices fade out and you will be looking for more anyway. And this concludes the first video in which we've covered logging into Samplify, the differences from my list to company list, and the dashboard navigation, including searching by status, date range, or project name, the different aspects of project and target group statuses, as well as the invoice tab. The next video will cover everything around your project, from setting it up, running feasibility, entering survey links, selecting what targeting attributes you want, testing, how to set it live, how to monitor your project performance, and how to reconcile your project. In case of any questions, please do reach out to customersuccess@dynata.com, and I hope seeing you again for the second video.